going on, guys? Dan from Ikonic Badges here to show you how to take off the Ram lettering off this Ram grill, as well as to install our new LED badge in its place. So these three letters are a little tricky to get off, but I'm going to kind of walk you through the process. We've already done this once, so they are off. I'm just going to show you here when we remove them. There's no tape or anything like that. It's just 4 prongs. So as you can see, we already broke off 2 of these prongs. They are a little bit tricky. There's a couple ways. They are held on by these 4 little press fit clips here. These clips go over top and kind of grip the plastic there. They're pretty strong. They're not meant to be removed, so it's a little bit difficult. There's a couple ways of doing this. One, the ideal way is to go in with a small screwdriver and carefully get behind and then pry off those clips. Again, each one has 4. Well, sorry, this one has 3. The R and M have 4. If you pry off one at a time, they should be able to come off pretty easily. Now, if you do break these clips, it's not a big deal because you can put the letters back on using 3M tape around the edge, revert it back to stock if you want to sell the truck or if you want to revert back to a stock look. So don't worry about it because there's a good chance that you're going to break a couple. Ideally, you're going to be able to get these off on the front, but if you can't, you go in behind, you remove the shroud, the plastic shroud on the top. Those are held on with just Christmas trees. That'll allow you to get your hand behind the grill here and access them. You can either pry them off that way or cut them off. And again, reapply them using 3M tape later if you do have to cut them off. So once you have all 3 removed, nice flat surface here for mounting. If you need to reapply them using 3M tape because you broke the prongs, you can. This is the perfect way to remove these so that you can paint them. If you want to match your factory color or add an accent color, you can paint these letters and reapply them. Or get one of our new LED or non-LED front badges in its place to fill that gap. So if you have some trouble as well, there is a third way of doing this here. It's removing this entire piece. It does come off. I don't recommend it. If you can get around this step, it'd be ideal, but if you absolutely have to, or if you're trying to paint this piece or something, you can do this. Removing this piece is fairly difficult, but I'll show you. As you can see, it's a little bit difficult to remove. There are 2 clips on the top here, one here and one here. Those are the main force holding it, as well as 4 prongs. Each of these prongs comes with one of those press fit clips that kind of grip on there as well. So these 4 prongs in combination with these 2 clips, as well as 2 bolts, one here and one here. Those are on each side of the grill. Those are a little tricky, but you can access them after you take the shroud off, access them through the back. You're gonna need a 8mm socket to get those off. Definitely do that first before trying to remove them. But then with some force, you should be able to pop this entire thing off. And then you can work very easily on the 3 letters because each of the holes here is accessible. So I'll show you when I put the R back in. The 4 prongs come through here, and those 4 washers kind of just grip on and go flush with the black ABS here. So you can work very easily with those 4 once you have this off, but again, it's pretty tricky to get back here to get them off, and you may break one of these 4. If you do, no big deal, because these 2 clips as well as these 2 bolts are the main force in holding this on. So that handles the removal of that. And now we will show you how to install our new LED badge in its place if you choose to go that option. Okay, so a little bit difficult to see, but I'm now inside the grill here, and I got an 8mm on a screwdriver, and I'm just removing that bolt there. And again, there's one of these on each side, the left and the right. And then once you get that out, you can remove that whole shroud by pulling on it. So I got it right there, but you're gonna wanna take off each one. All right, so now we're ready to install our custom LED badge. This particular badge, somebody requested recovery bound with the recovery symbol here, but you can get anything you want, custom make, totally custom designs, logos, text, and you can also customize your colors. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna prep the area with alcohol. So I've got a clean paper towel here with just some alcohol, ensure that there's no oils, no contaminants, no dirt where we're going to mount, because this is 3M tape mounting, so we want to make sure we got a nice bond. Also, this outer edge, ensure that there's no oils, wax, anything like that on that edge. And then just make sure that this all dries. Alcohol evaporates fairly quickly, but depending on the product you use, it can take a little bit of time for that to evaporate. So now we're ready to take our product. We're gonna feed this LED wire. If you don't have the LED option, you can skip this portion. Just gonna feed it through this hole here. For right now, I'm gonna feed it back through somewhere we can access, just to show you how it connects. But normally you would run that to the power source of your choosing. You want to ensure that whatever power source you choose, it is fused. That makes sure that if there's any problems that it's covered, as well as make sure that it's 12 volts. Some of the newer vehicles can run different voltages at different parts of the vehicle. But you can connect this to the power source of your choosing, just a positive and negative lead there. So that's ready to go. So now we're going to remove the backing on our tape. Okay, so now we have the red backing removed on all of our tape and we're ready to stick. You want to ensure that you have this in the right spot before sticking, of course. Ensure that your LED wire is not going to get in the way. And then make sure that it's nice and level and even. So before applying the tape, I'm going to ensure that the LED badge portion is within the pocket. I'm going to hold it hovering just in front. Make sure that the fit is good. And then stick one side before sticking the other. So stuck that. Just gonna move along here to ensure that the other side fits in nice and snug. And then that's just the sound of this reapplying on the clips. And apply even pressure all the way around the edge. Make sure we've got a good seal. This tape is extremely strong, but you want to make sure that it's applied correctly to make sure that adhesion is 100% all the way around. And then a little bit in the center there as well because of that center tape. And then now we can just take off our protective paper around the border, the most rewarding part of the process. All right, so we've got the badge on, it's fully secured. Made sure that we had nice pressure all the way around, and we've got it all cleaned up. So now we have it wired in. So we're just gonna turn it on here to do a little bit of testing. Make sure that everything looks good. So lights up really nice right across, just for a beautiful diffused light with the logo of your choice. Now again, this comes in a variety of different colors. So you can get red, blue, orange, green illumination. It depends on kind of the look you're going for. Remember to only use this in off-road use, because depending on state laws, you may not be allowed to have LEDs while you're driving in the front. As for wiring, we connected this for now right to the battery, but again, you can connect this to any 12-volt power source of your choice. Just make sure that it's a fuse connection, or you run an inline fuse 2 amps or lower. We recommend hooking this up to something like an auxiliary light that comes on when you open your doors or when you hit your key fob, so that you can enjoy the light when you're outside of the vehicle and you can see it yourself. That way it's off when you're driving, but when you get out or when you're showing somebody, you can always be on with a click of the button or an open of the door. That's what we find most people like to do. But any 12-volt power source fuse connection is going to be fine for this application. So with that, we conclude our install video.